Here we go! Let's go!
In the meantime, hi. He thinks this is an intro, but really, this is my chance to tell you that I find watching Mario take off his gloves and seeing flesh-colored fingers on the plumber to be disturbing. I'm giving you a quick review of what I watched last night. Yeah, it's really late. Yeah, it's been out for a while, but the Super Mario Brothers movie is not good. And I don't like it, and I'm sad, and we need to appreciate the 90s version. And I mean that with every flavor of my being.
I agree with everything but the fact that this new one was good.
It was not. And this is why, let me explain why I have the opinion that I do. It wasn't good for multiple reasons, from my perspective. It's kind of like the way writing is nowadays. It seems like what writers do nowadays is they hit notes, and then people are like, hey, references, and then this development and storyline, and none of that matters. None of it does. And yes, it's an absurd premise, Mario. And yes, it kind of has a kid angle, agreed. But so does Sonic. But the Sonic first movie was great. The Sonic second movie was decent. And they managed to blend everything, and they have character development, and there's progression, and it's not just like a vomit of everything you'd want to see. The way writing is, like the last season of Game of Thrones, and stuff like this, and maybe like not the late, like the whole arc, the endgame arc for Marvel movies. Maybe more Marvel movies now, where it's just like, they just kind of give you things now that you're supposed to like. It's a lot like the Super Mario Brothers movie is like a pizza, as a nice analogy. But instead of putting it together, you're like, well, we have the crust, we have the toppings, and we're just gonna put them in piles next to each other, and put the cheese in another pile, and then bake it that way. That's not how you get a pizza. That's not art. That's just here. Look at they're in carts. Look at Diddy Kong. Frankly, the reason why the Sonic franchise, weirdly, it's a less, like, it seems like it's a harder IP to make work. Somehow they make it work because for the adults that watch it, they have subversive dialogue and progression. This guy is the only thing for adults in the whole movie. Luma Lee is the only thing adults have to look for in the whole movie, and it's unfortunate. I'm okay with references. I'm okay with like, but it's just, when you watch it, it just kind of, it doesn't take any chances. It doesn't do anything artistic. It just kind of just gives you something.
You should. And
knows you'll eat it up, and you should expect more from people and artists than that. Every movie you own, most likely, I think is more artistically viable than what I watched last night.
I own that one.
I own every other one. And I have never been, I'm not a Zelda person. I've always been a Mario person. I've never been a Mega Man person. I've never been, like, any other IPs. I've stuck with, like, Mario, and I found that to be the games I like to platform on and all that. I have no interest in watching a sequel. And I hate that. And the thing is, if those two things didn't exist, it's hard to imagine that I would have the same opinion, but I know that you can take something that has failed before and make it into something interesting. And the 90s movie is interesting. I think if you could just take the far part of the 90s movie and the far part of this one, and you meet in the middle, you'd have the perfect Mario movie. But unfortunately, people are too scared to go to the 90s, and people are just, it's easy money if you go to the left. So, that's all I got. I hated it, and it breaks my heart that I hated it, but I wasn't surprised. I was expecting that going in somewhat. I gave it a full chance, watched it all the way through, and it's like, I want something that actually feels like a story instead of something that's just kind of handing me feelings. The 90s movie's better. I never thought I'd say that. I thought it'd be hard to, because I was like, it's ambitious, but it's like, it's not they didn't hit it out of the park. But in hindsight, that's brave, that's interesting, and that was done many, many, many years before. All the technology and writing could have gone into this one. And that's why it's a failure. I hate it.
I loved it.
I mean, well...
We weren't going to always agree on everything.
No. Guys, this factors into what we do on a weekly basis. You expect more from electronic arts. You should expect more from them. You should demand more from people who sell you products and get you stuff. I think that is the same when it comes to entertainment. Because just expect more. I know some of you don't need it. Some of you watch Survivor and it's a surprise in the 30th season that someone got kicked off. But you expect more. Otherwise, people are going to just profit off of giving you nothing. And that's what electronic arts does. So, there's my analogy. And I think it's pretty apt. Anyway, we're going to play a video game that's not Mario. Watch one of those videos too. I never heard that.
It was a surprise to me which end it was going to come out of.